Hello, everybody, and welcome back into another quick fire with the Hockey Writers here. And on a day where we have it should be the day of retirement. Lots of players retiring today. They just got into a chat and just said, we're going to all retire today. But a couple guys, PK Subban retired, and Zdeno Chara, which is a bigger one. Not saying PK Subban's not big, but Chara's been around the game for 24 seasons. So he's been around the block quite a few times, and he retired today too. So we've got, and also re-signing happened. Nathan MacKinnon re-signed. So we've got some questions, quick fire questions, we're going to throw at Mike and Kristy here, and to talk about this pretty big day. So let's start. Well, first of all, thanks Kristy and Mike for coming on. Kristy's second time here, Mike's first timer. And Mike covers the New York Islanders. He did our New York Islanders preview earlier on. And Kristy, of course, covers the New Devils. So let's get started. And with the first one, and this is on, we're going to have first two questions will be on Zdeno Chara. So our first one, rank Chara on Bruins legends. So this is just hockey. Bobby Orr, Ray Bourque, Cam Neely, and Tuukka Rask. So rank him within those four. We'll start with you, Kristy, on this one.
As somebody who does not live in Massachusetts, I'm not a big Boston sports kind of person. I'm going to go third. I think you have to keep Orr and I think you have to keep them at 1 and 2. So I'm going to go solid 3 because he was really meaningful during his time as a Bruin, but you don't know 20, 30 years from now. And these two were proven to last that time. So I think, 3. I'll go with 3.
All right. Mike, what do you think? Where does he rank?
I agree with Kristy. 3 is right.
Thank God.
Or Bobby Orr is one of the greatest of all time, has that legendary status. Ray Bourque, maybe a lot of people say greatest defenseman of all time, one of the greatest defensemen of all time. And then Chara, you put a 3. I think at the end, maybe Patrice Bergeron at the end of his career, if he continues playing, you could see him maybe ahead of him. But between those 3, Chara's 3. I agree with Kristy on this one.
I don't even know if I said anything in that duration, so I'm glad you agree with that.
Well, I probably agree with that too. I think he kind of ranks in that 3. I wouldn't put him above Orr for sure. I mean, he's just probably the best defenseman of all time in Boston and in the NHL. So you can't really rank Chara ahead, but 3 is probably pretty fair for him for how long. I didn't actually I thought he played a lot longer in Ottawa. Honestly, I thought he played he had quite a few good seasons there, but only 4. So I mean, most of his career was in Boston. So that kind of puts him more in that realm of those greats. So 3 is probably fair at this point. And like Mike said, Patrice Bergeron is probably going to be in that.
100%.
He retires too. So, all right, let's expand the scope and look at Boston sports in general for this next one. So we're going to go and rank him within some big names in different sports. So starting with Tom Brady, David Ortiz, and Larry Bird. So where does Zdeno Chara rank within those 3 greats in those other sports? We'll start with you, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfair. We just put him 3 with the Bruins. Now we're going to compare him with other sports legends, the greatest in their sports. We didn't even put Bill Russell in there. Yeah. We didn't put we put Pedro Martinez. Ted Williams. We missed a. I mean, this is not a well-suited question. We're comparing other players to other sports. So, but in his own right, I think Chara has his own place in Boston history. I think that's where I think we have to talk about Chara in that context. Like he's in this era in Boston where they won 1 cup and they made it to another. That's his unique spot in this successful run for Boston as well, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Kristy, what do you think?
I think for me, and again, I don't follow any sports except for hockey, but you can't beat Tom Brady in Boston for me. That's just a no-brainer. For someone who doesn't follow any other sports, I would put Chara, he's not on the Brady level, but he's there. I mean, everyone knows who Chara is. It's not like he was just really important to the team, but nobody on the outside really knew who he was. Like, he played for a long time. I think he's definitely up there with just not Tom Brady. Tom Brady's by himself. He's in a whole other category. But like, sure, I think he's right up there too. I think, I mean, just his size alone, everyone knew who Chara was, so I think that he is going to be up there when you think of Boston athletes. I think he's going to be up there.
Yeah, it's kind of unfair to compare him to these guys. I mean, they're like Brady. How many Super Bowls did he win? He didn't just win one. He won tons. And Chara won one. I mean, but
on the note, Bill Russell 11 championships in the NBA. Like, they're all great in their own right.
Yeah, I mean, Chara's definitely up there, and probably kind of ranks below those guys. But he's just not just big in stature, but big in all what he's done too. So pretty amazing career for Chara, and he'll be probably retired number for the Bruins. He'll probably be a Hall of Famer. Those could have been questions, but those are so easy. I mean, of course he's going to be there. He's going to be definitely
like a tier 2 great, not Mount Rushmore, but the Hall of Fame, Hall of Bruins, Hall of Boston.
Well, I think too, like, he's suited up for like a handful of teams, and he's only going to be remembered as a Bruin. So I think that kind of gives him like an edge where there's other players, like we'll talk about PK Subban. Like, he played for 3, like Chara is Boston.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where he kind of has the edge. It's like, you played for a variety of teams, but you are synonymous with Boston.
Yeah. Like, he played his early career in Ottawa, the Islanders. He started his career there, but got traded early on. And then finished his career on Islanders again, but again in a lower role. And then same thing with the Capitals. He was more that lesser, veteran defenseman, kind of in the bottom pairing, like how kind of compared to like how Chris Chelios kind of ended his career. He was more, towards the end of his career, he was just a lower end, really solid bottom pairing defenseman. But he's just had a heck of a career, and good luck in the future to him, because he'll probably be in front office in Boston, most likely, and kind of move into a role there. Maybe coaching is probably in his career, his future too. So we'll look forward to see what he can do next, and whatever he can get for ceremonies too next year too. He'll probably get. All right, well, let's move on to PK Subban, who also retired today, and he's played a few teams, probably not synonymous with any of them. So, he's not in that realm, but he will be remembered. So I'll start with you, Kristy, on this one. Will he be remembered for more what he did on the ice, or for what he did off of it? Because he has a lot of personality off the ice, a lot of charity work and stuff like that. What do you think on? I know you're familiar with him with his last few years in New Jersey.
I am. I honestly think this question depends on which team you root for. Because I think if you were a Canadiens fan and you watched him during his prime when he won the Norris Trophy back in 2013, I think you remember him for what he did on the ice. But I think as far as New Jersey goes, you might look at more of what he did off the ice and the contributions to the community that he's done. Because even looking back on Nashville during his time, like, everyone knows that's Yossi's blue line. Like, that's the defenseman that comes to mind in Nashville. So I don't even know if he would be a top defender like 10, 20 years from now, like playing for the Predators. So I think for most people, it's going to be what he's done off the ice, unless you're a Canadiens fan. Then I think you have a right to say what he did on the ice.
Yeah, that's fair for sure. Mike, what do you think about Subban? Will he be more remembered on the ice or off the ice?
I agree. On the ice, like, his Canadian tenure was like, when he was there, he was one of the greatest defensemen in that era. He was one of the best. And his game, I think he won the Hart, or it was up there. I don't know for sure off the top of my head, but basically he after that, when his career declined, and this is part of why I think at the end he'll be more remembered for what he does off the ice, because you look at his broadcasting career, how it's starting out, and you look at all this stuff, and he's still got a lot of years left of that. So we're going to probably remember, you think of some of the great athletes or great hockey players who joined the broadcasting booth and joined the broadcasting thing. And that's kind of where Subban, you look at his career, where it's heading, and that's kind of where it is, right? I think right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's going to be a lot more broadcasting in his future. He's already an analyst in ESPN, right? So his personality is just so connected to that. And I really kind of think the same thing with like how Kevin Bieksa is now on Hockey Night in Canada. He's more that very big personality. And that's what Subban is. He's a big personality. Everyone loves him. And I think that's his future. He's going to be really good in that realm. And probably could still be playing the NHL, obviously. I mean, he can still play, but I think he wants to kind of move on to a different phase of his life. So good luck to PK Subban and whatever he does next. And broadcasting is probably going to be the thing.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move to someone that's not retired and he won't retire for a long time, is Nathan MacKinnon, and he signed an 8-year deal with the Colorado Avalanche, $12.3 million AAV. Now the highest paid player in the league, probably by a bit. So, Mike, we'll start with you. Should he be the highest paid player in the league? I mean, is he good enough to be paid that much?
Yes and no. Like, as in, like, is he better than McDavid? No, but like, if McDavid were to sign a deal today, he would get that. I think that's a fair way of saying it. He's an elite player. Like, he could be a Hart Trophy winner if it weren't for McDavid, Austin Matthews having career years in the past 2 years, and just McKinnon getting hurt. He's that elite talent where it's like he deserves this money, but at the same time, like, like 12.5. And then the problem is I have a little different perspective on this, just because, like, when you look at hockey players getting paid and you always compare it to other sports, you're like, he's underpaid in that context. So, I mean, that's that perspective, but he deserves his money for being an elite player. Is he the best? I don't think so, but that's basically where I'm at on this.
All right, Kristy, what do you think about McKinnon? Should he be paid $12.3 million now, being the highest paid player now?
Do I think he's one of the best players in the league right now? Yes. What I'm hung up on is he a more crucial player for the Avalanche than Cale Makar? That's my question. Is if you had to ask any Avalanche fan, would you you have to make a decision. Would you want a McKinnon or a Makar on your team? I'd be curious what the answer would be, but no one can deny that McKinnon is not one of the best in the league. So in that regard, contracts are contracts. My opinion on contracts. But yeah, I mean, if anyone is going to get paid, it should be a McKinnon who, most likely will live up to it, at least for the foreseeable future. But I think when you throw Makar into the mix, it becomes a very interesting question.
Yeah. Oh, it's true. And that's a big thing. And I went lower. He's 12.6 million. Not 12. So he's even higher. So 12.6 million AAV was what it came in at 8 years. So he's going to be in Colorado for a long time, and hopefully win more cups for Avalanche fans' sake, and get a bunch more. Obviously, he'll get the points, but we'll see how many more cups he can win. And if he's going to be there for the long haul, which everyone kind of anticipated. I think. Yeah. He wasn't going to go anywhere else. He wasn't going to sign with someone else at free agency or anything like that. So, and they were anticipating it being this number. And like Mike said, Connor McDavid would probably be getting paid this now if he re-signed with the Oilers. If that was where his contract was now. So, he's highest paid now, and we'll see if he can live up to that contract. And I know Avs fans are going to be looking at it every year to see if he can do to match that money, because that's a lot of money.
And I mean, for their perspective, it's like, lock up your stars, figure everything else out after. Yeah, that's like their team building idea, which, like, you always ask, like, would you rather have depth, no star power, no depth? They're like, we're just locking up our stars, Makar, McKinnon, Landeskog, basically long-term deals, and then everything else was like, let's figure this stuff out after. Yeah, with cheap contracts and stuff.
Well, that's what Tampa Bay is doing too. So they've won a couple cups with that. So we'll see. We'll have to see if Colorado can keep going with that, and that's just gonna be something to watch. All right, thanks, Kristy. Thanks, Mike, for coming on another quick fire. And on a breaking news day, we had some big stuff happening. So make sure you're commenting. Answer the questions for yourself. What you think about these stuff happening in the NHL today. And the NHL regular season is just around the corner too. So we'll have a lot more to talk about as stuff gets going, and maybe some trades to talk about. So we'll see you next time on another quick fire with the